We're almost 2 weeks into the season, and while I am not one to overreact, I think this can be a perfect time to sell off guys on your fantasy teams. Today, I have 4 players I think you should trade before it's too late. Today's video is sponsored by So Rare MLB. Do not forget to subscribe, join the Discord. Let's get into the players. First player is Brady Singer of the Royals. This season so far, he's 1-0, a 4.91 ERA, 7 strikeouts, 1.18 WHIP in 11 innings. For someone who I thought was underrated coming into the season, some of the things I thought that he should be addressing just haven't seemed to change at all. Singer's whiff rate and chase rate were pretty poor in 2022 with percentile rankings of the 26th and 17th percentiles, leading to a 24.2% strikeout rate. And to start the season, all of those things have gotten worse. In his two starts that were against the Blue Jays and the Giants, Singer has lowered both his whiff and chase rate and has a K rate at only 15.9%. Brady Singer is always going to be a sinker and slider guy. His pitch percentage has barely moved over his 4 years in the league, and the main issue for me is if he's going to throw that sinker as often as he is, he either needs them to take it for strikes a lot, swung on and missed a lot, or just absolutely pounded into the ground. To start this year, this average launch angle against on his sinker is 12 degrees, which is up 5 degrees higher than last season. And he has a whiff percentage 10 points lower than last year. I know that Brady Singer could very well make 28 more starts this season and change everything around, but the borderline things that kind of made me like him, not being a must-add guy, but someone I thought was undervalued, just haven't looked good so far. To begin 2023, Singer's in the bottom 5% of the league in average exit velocity, max exit velocity, expected batting average, and hard hit percentage. Singer is getting barreled pretty often and his velocity down almost a mile per hour on all his pitches compared to last season. Again, I think there's a chance that Brady Singer could turn it around. Maybe those are 2 of the tougher matchups you'll have all season. But again, what I see from Brady Singer just isn't a huge step forward that I thought he could have taken. And again, we saw World Baseball Classic that he was okay. I haven't seen the step forward in these 2 starts. Again, he could turn it around crazy at some point in the middle of this season. But for now, I'm okay with getting rid of Brady Singer. The second player is Bryson Stott of the Phillies to start this season. He's hitting .415, no home runs, a run batted in, 2 stolen bases, and 147 weighted runs created plus. On the surface, it looks like Bryson Stott has found his footing at the big league level and is starting to thrive. Stott has a hit in every game for the Phillies so far, and his ability to get on base as well as his speed found him in the leadoff spot last night, and he followed that up with 3 hard hit balls. But to me, the expected numbers are going to get the best of him. We haven't seen a power surge at all. Last year, he had a 124 ISO, and this season, the ISO sits at .73. Another thing is his great batting average. Obviously, on the surface, that is an awesome thing to see, but he has a decrease in his hard hit percentage and average exit velocity, and the one stat that shows this won't be sustainable is a batting average on balls in play that is at .531 right now. The batted ball data really hasn't changed for him. He's driving the ball up the middle the most he ever has and is pulling the ball the least he ever has in any pro ball level, as well as the hardest contact percentage in his major league career. But his barrel rate is in the 1st percentile, and he only had 15 barrels last season. Bryson's profile is kind of confusing, and he should still be a good fantasy asset, but if you can flip him for another need, I don't think that's a bad move. What's going to make him the most valuable is something that just everyone's doing this season. That is going to be stealing bases, and that's what's going to happen in the new age of Major League Baseball. Here we are in the So Rare game lobby. I'm going to show you guys how to get ready for a tournament. Setting my lineup for game week 5. That's going to run from April 14th to the 16th. It starts in 3 days, obviously. So I'm going to go into the minors. I gotta try and win one here. I've been struggling with my team. I'm going to register my team here. Complete your team. Register your team. I'm going to have all of my players that I've picked: Rowanzi, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Jeffrey Springs. I mean, I've got to put Jeffrey Springs in here at some point. But I'm going to go with Rowanzi. He's a probable pitcher in this. The relief pitcher, Devin Williams again. I have no problem with that. Jake Berger, Derek Hall. Got to go with Jake Berger at this point. We have Seager, Elias Diaz, Gabriel Moreno. I'm going to go with Corey Seager. I think he's one of the best players I have. Again, Corbin Carroll, just absolute must play in this format as well. And then we got to go find some couple gems here. So I'll go Yester Ruiz and then Gabriel Moreno as my final guy. So it looks like these other guys aren't going to get starts at all. So there it is. I am all set up. My team has been registered for the Minors tournament of game week 5. Do not forget to sign up for So Rare MLB. That link will be in the description. Second starter is Merrill Kelly of the Diamondbacks. So far this season, he's 0-1, a 3.86 ERA, a 1.82 WHIP, 8 strikeouts in 9 1/3 innings pitched. Merrill Kelly did some interesting offseason work with the D-backs pitching pitching department in the way he game plan hitters and what pitches he is going to throw. Last season, Merrill Kelly's changeup ranked 4th out of his 5 pitches when it came to run value, and to start the 2023 season, he has decided to throw it more than any of his other pitches. The success he's had on the changeup shouldn't be ignored, but what is most concerning to me is how bad his four-seam fastball has been. His four-seam fastball ranks in the 7th percentile for average, 8th percentile for batting average on balls in play, 12th percentile for expected average, and the 18th percentile for hard contact percentage. Another concerning for the older player is that Merrill Kelly's velocity is down about a mile per hour on all his pitches across the board. It's interesting that both Merrill Kelly and Brady Singer were guys who went to the World Baseball Classic as well. Because of all the hard contact he's giving up, although his actual ERA sits at 3.86, his expected ERA is 7.44. His walks per nine are up a crazy amount, which is about 5 walks compared to every other season he's had since 2015 in the KBO, and his xFIP much worse than his actual FIP. Merrill Kelly is a savvy vet who will find his way to eat innings and be productive, but I don't just see any real upside with Merrill Kelly for the rest of the season when he's going to get hit this hard. The D-backs have some dogs coming up through the minor league system, and although they'll stick with guys like Bumgarner and Merrill Kelly, they're going to be nipping at their heels in no time. And finally, the last player is Yoan Moncada of the White Sox so far this season. 308 average, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in, and 145 weighted runs created plus. There are only 8 other qualified position players who have a worse differential from their actual slug to their expected slug than Yoan Moncada. Even after a good start to the season, it's the same old Yoan Moncada as he found himself out for the rest of this Twin Series due to a nagging back injury. I will say I think it's probably too early to give up on a guy as he's still only 27 years old, and a good World Baseball Classic brought him to the forefront of being relevant again. But if he's going to struggle to stay healthy, there's not much I want to do with him in fantasy. Moncada is still going to swing and miss a ton. He is below the 40th percentile in both whiff and strikeout rate. His 2 home runs came to a short left field in Houston, and he would only have 1 home run in 3 other ballparks in the major leagues. He's hitting .412 on breaking pitches to start this season and only hit .187 on them last year. If pitchers go back to beating him with velocity, these numbers should regress significantly. Thank you again for tuning into the video. Let me know if you want to sell these guys. If you don't want to sell these guys, what you are thinking, if there's people you want me to talk about as well. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you to So Rare for sponsoring the video. Do not forget to subscribe, join the Discord, and I will see you guys later.